Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a story that literally redefines what it means to escalate a narrative. We're talking about a breakneck mashup of B-movie horror, heavy metal aesthetics, and sweeping biblical epics, all crammed into one relentless ride. From the very first moment, this text grabs you by the collar and refuses to let go, dragging you through a descent into pure, unadulterated chaos. So, if you're ready to explore a world where the danger never stops and the imagery goes completely off the rails, let's begin our descent. And right off the bat, let me show you what I mean about the complete lack of subtlety we're dealing with here. There is no slow burn, no corporate agenda or gentle world building. You're just immediately hit with this line from a creepy bus driver, "Come, your journey to darkness begins." Boom. It instantly hooks you. You know exactly what kind of chaotic ride you're strapping in for. It's the perfect thesis statement for this story. Buckle up because things are going to get extremely dark, extremely fast. Part 1. Journey to Tooth Cavity. This is where the nightmare really kicks off. We start on this violently bumpy airplane ride and we meet our main crew, Toivo, Elisa, and the deeply phobic Tom. But honestly, the absolute standout here is Wolf Tony. This guy is a paranormal researcher who, I kid you not, literally pulls a detachable gold tooth out of his mouth to use as a computer flash drive. He plugs it right into his heavily protected laptop to track werewolves using 3D hologram glasses. And he does it with complete deadpan seriousness. It's just absolute B-movie genius, and the text presents it with such a straight face that you can't help but love it. Now, while Tony is busy playing with his gold tooth USB drive, things outside the plane go completely off the rails for Tom. He looks out the window at 30,000 feet, and a creature in a ragged black robe lands on the wing. The hood falls back, and this is what Tom sees. A bloody skull completely swarming with black spiders, with worms pouring out of its eyes and mouth pressed right up against the glass. The story totally blurs the line between hallucination and reality here, spiking our adrenaline before the plane has even touched the ground. So the absolute wildest thing here is the pacing. The characters don't get a single second to breathe. Look at this timeline. Hour 1, they're fighting off those airborne hallucinations. Hour 2, they're dumped into the silent, mist-covered airport. Hour 3, they're forced onto a terrifying bus. And by hour 5, they've already survived a demonic temple and arrived at a nightmare hotel. The speed is staggering. They are whisked from one incredibly deadly location to the next like it's nothing. While the tension only escalates when they actually catch their ride, they're stranded at Big Bear Airport, enveloped in this thick mist, and their bus rolls up. It's pitch black and literally slapped with the number 666. But it's not just the outside that's unsettling. Inside, separating the driver's cabin from the passengers, there is an actual liquid wall that ripples like black water. The story is just not afraid to lean completely into that supernatural heavy metal vibe. Which brings us to part 2, the Hotel of Doom, a total gothic nightmare. The bus drops them off at an old 4-story reddish wood building surrounded by mist. And once they step inside the lobby, the horror gets really personal. They're greeted by this telepathic clerk with pitch black eyes who assigns them rooms by speaking directly into their minds. And the rooms? Oh, they are uniquely terrifying. Tony gets room 6, where a stuffed wolf head on the wall actually blinks at him in the firelight. Toivo and Elisa are in room 7, which features a creepy marble tub and a key made out of a literal bone finger. And poor Tom, he's isolated in room 8, where someone slips a bloody note under his door that just says one word, attic. It's a brilliant way to separate the cast and make them incredibly vulnerable. So, following that bloody note, Toivo and Elisa find a hidden passage to the attic, which, of course, is full of coffins. Panic sets in, Toivo sprays lighter fluid everywhere, tosses a candelabra, and the coffins erupt into flames. They dive into an old surface elevator to escape. But as they're descending, they look back through the lattice doors and see a hissing, burning vampire with blood-red eyes. And he delivers this completely unhinged threat: "I will drink your blood and sacrifice you to the demon god." It's so dramatic, incredibly cinematic, and just ramps up the horror to a whole new level. So down they go. Part 3. Descent into the Catacombs. Prepare for some serious underground horrors. As that burning vampire threat echoes above them, the smoke-filled, creaking elevator takes Toivo and Elisa downwards for what feels like an eternity. When the doors finally open, the hotel is gone. They're staring at this massive underground cavern with a bubbling acid pond right in the middle. And the centerpiece? It's a giant skull sculpture with 2 underground rivers of actual blood flowing straight out of its nostrils. Above them, a pentagram made of impaled bodies is dripping blood onto a candlelit hexagram below. It's incredibly vivid, visceral imagery that paints a terrifying picture of the sacrifices happening down here. And the ecosystem down here is just a complete nightmare. Actually, look at the sheer volume of bizarre monsters they're dealing with. You've got red-hooded villagers rowing those blood rivers in canoes to feed underground demon gods. There are spider-like vampires literally clinging to the walls, and naked humans violently mutating into werewolves right in front of them. Tallying all this up, you can really see the escalating, overwhelming danger our characters are facing. There's nowhere safe. Part 4, The Great Escape. We are shifting gears into pure adrenaline and action. After witnessing that horrific ritual, the pacing goes from spooky to straight-up tactical action. Toivo ambushes a lone villager, steals his blood-splattered canoe, hits the shore of a dark lake surrounded by spruce trees, and launches this crazy, fast-paced maneuver. Step 1, he has Lisa throw a spruce cone to distract a red-hooded rider on horseback. Step 2, Toivo hurls a wood axe with all his might right into the rider's back. Step 3, they steal his black steed and ride straight into the village square. Step 4, they find Tom tied to a burning pole, and Toivo literally swings the axe side to side like a Viking in a total rage, felling villagers and cutting Tom free. It is relentless, heroic action. But, you can't just have an explosive rescue like that without drawing some major attention. As they grab Tom and gallop toward the dark sea, the chilling sound of bone horns starts echoing around the village. And those horns summon an absolute tidal wave of hairy werewolves and hissing vampires. The text describes them swarming like insects, rustling and howling out of the woods, completely cornering our heroes against the ocean. The tension right here is at an all-time high. Part 5. Divine Intervention. Get ready for a triumphant, jaw-dropping finale. Just when you think it's completely game over and they dive into the crashing waves of the dark ocean, the narrative pulls off this massive pivot. We see this insane contrast. On one side, the forces of doom, the squealing, dirty bloodsuckers, the dark seas, the bone horns, they're desperately fleeing. On the other side, the sudden, blinding arrival of the forces of salvation. Angels literally plunge into the depths to grab them, dressing our characters in glowing jewel outfits, all led by the absolute purity of the Messiah. The shift from grim, filthy horror to this bright, heavenly rescue gives us total genre whiplash in the best way possible. Even the physical environment reacts to this. That terrifying, dark ocean they just dove into, it violently transforms. It lights up and shifts, becoming a massive, glowing sea shaped exactly like a cross. And riding at the very front of this radiant water is the Messiah, leading an army of white riders. It's such an epic, triumphant image that completely flips the visual tone of everything we've seen so far in this explainer. And let me tell you, the resolution is as swift as it is absolute. There's no drawn-out, messy battle here. Step 1, the Messiah breathes a flame filled with lightning, setting the massive horde of monsters into eternal fire. Step 2, he strikes the sea with an iron scepter. Step 3, the water violently recedes, triggering a massive mudslide that instantly swallows the mountains, the village, and every remaining creature like they were just ants. Step 4, the black clouds part, leaving a dead calm and a glowing red sunrise. It's just a rapid, apocalyptic cleansing that wipes out the villains in seconds and restores absolute peace. And that brings us to the end of our journey today. We've gone from a creepy bus driver and a gold-toothed flash drive to a literal biblical apocalypse in just a matter of hours. Which really leaves us with a huge question to ponder. After experiencing such a chaotic, genre-whipping descent into complete darkness, is this sudden, blinding salvation actually a reward for our characters? Or is it just the ultimate, desperate escape from sheer madness? I really hope this explainer helps you untangle the wild structure of this story. Thanks for learning with me today, and I'll catch you on the next one.